Okay, so as far as we can tell, the white Elantra is a big nothing burger, which does not surprise me. I never thought it was. But you tell me this, why are they not looking at this one piece of evidence that I think could be crucial? Hello, welcome back. I'm doing the Idaho 4 because my OB asked me to, and so I'm going to open this discussion to those of you who follow true crime, and it seems like, there is something breaking all the time about that. But here is what disturbs me, okay? First of all, I personally, now let me just preface this by saying this is my opinion. I think the police are going in the totally wrong direction. Let me tell you why. And I've always had this thought, but I was watching, a clip of something, and I came across part of a Dr. Phil show. Now, I'm not a Dr. Phil watcher. I rarely see anything of his unless it is about a specific thing that I'm researching. But on this one instance, Dr. Phil and I see eye to eye on this one thing. He said, as I believed, that they should not discount the skinned dog. What was it, 2 or 3 weeks before? The police said it's not related. Okay. If it's not related, is this a problem that you have? Like, how many skinned dogs are there? Like, is this a thing? Like, do you have this happen often? If you don't, that is a huge red flag. Let me tell you why. Okay, this is sensitive matter, and I hate to talk about it because I get so angry. So angry. When you talk about harming a defenseless animal, especially a dog, because they're so trusting, I can't even say the words on here that I want to say about someone who would do that. But just touching on that, do you understand how much pain you would have to cause, how much suffering you would have to cause to skin an animal alive? Only someone who takes great pleasure in inflicting pain like that would be able to perform that act. And to discount it, to me, I don't care if there wasn't any murders. You got somebody who's going around, skinning a dog or other animals, you have got a serious, disturbed person on your hands. Like, you've got a psychopath, a sadistic somebody who could do that. So, what are we looking for? Hello? We are looking for someone who is capable of killing 4 people in their sleep, according to the coroner. There's different reports, but the initial coroner's report said that they were all killed in their sleep. Now, could the first blow have woken someone up? Yes. If you didn't kill them on the first blow, then, there could have been a struggle. But, to me, that is a huge red flag that they are not looking at. And then let me go through some of my notes. This whole thing about Adam and that video and, whatever. Like, look, girls argue. I think you're grasping at straws that are nothing. The Elantra, you know what? It's a college town. People are drinking, people are speeding, whatever. Could it be related? Yeah, any car could be related, but there's nothing that really says that. So to me, they wasted a lot of time looking for an Elantra that they can't. It seems to be nothing. All right. And here is my theory, okay? First of all, let's talk gender. I don't care what happened in that video. I don't care who's arguing with who. This was a male. I will never, ever believe that these murders were committed by a female. First of all, you have to have incredible strength. Even a woman who is, works out and is very buff like that, 4 people, that's still going to take a toll. And I mean, there's not been any, it doesn't fit this profile psychologically. Women don't kill that way. You see where I'm going, and I only think it can have been done by a male unless there was more than one person, which at this point we have no clue. If it were several people, then maybe a female was involved. But by herself, no. If we're looking for one perpetrator, it is definitely a male. It is definitely somebody who is not in this same college age. That's my opinion, but first of all, kids don't kill that way, okay? Even if Ethan had gotten into an argument with somebody at a frat party, they might beat each other up. Somebody might, catch Ethan out. They might have it out somewhere else. Could he have been killed one-on-one in a fit of rage or whatever? Yes. But to go in and kill 3 girls along with Ethan, no. The only thing, and this could be if anybody was the initial target, you might have to also do the same to the roommate, because the roommate would most likely wake up during a struggle, but in the same room, if you were in the same room. So, I mean, that's possible, but there was no reason. First of all, college kids, I think they would have known if there was a psychopathic somebody in their friend group, somebody who's just a little odd, who makes these hideous statements, and you're like, what the, there would have been some red flags, I think. Secondly, that age group, they're going to do other things. It's going to be more white collar. Does that make any sense? Maybe if it's female, they're going to slander them on social media. Males, word of mouth, stuff like that. That is not the age. If somebody were doing that, there would definitely have been signs beforehand that somebody was, they would have been a loner, they would have been weird. But I still don't think it is anybody that age. It's just not the right age for a multiple killing. Now, you're talking about one-on-one? Yes, possibly. 4 people, no. The second thing is, look at this house. Now, when I first heard the news breaking and they showed pictures of the front, even pictures of the side, and in that one of the first interviews, somebody said how much woods there was in front of the house, or is it in the front? Anyway, that it would be so easy for somebody to just stand out there and watch and not be observed. Like, you wouldn't be seen if you were just standing there watching the house. Now, me looking at it for the first time, if I was looking at it face on, you see the front porch and the sliding glass doors. And to me, sliding glass doors are easy to break into unless they've got a bar in them. And if you're watching the house, you would know somebody did not place it there. People walk in and out. That would be the first thing I would do. Even looking at it from the side, it's deceptive unless you're watching from the back. Because when you go in that house, as you go in the door, there are stairs up there. You can't miss that staircase. So immediately when you go in that, what they call the second floor, but is actually ground level, when you go in there, you know that potentially people upstairs. Let's say you weren't even watching the house, but you can see there's potential witnesses upstairs. You've got, bedrooms on the second floor. So you wouldn't necessarily know. My point is you wouldn't necessarily know that there were two people in the back. Okay, because even if you look at it from the side, unless you're in the back of the house and you see that door, you could, if you didn't know that house that well, you could assume that there was like a garage, and storage area, because the back of that house is kind of wonky from the front. So especially if you go in the front, you would not necessarily think to go downstairs. Or could you have been interrupted? Yeah, maybe that's why the downstairs roommates were not part in the victim count. Either you got interrupted or you just didn't know they were there. Which led me to believe, looking at the house just on my own for the first time, that this looked like, it immediately made me think of people like Richard Speck, Danny Rawlings, and Ted Bundy. I mean, Ted Bundy goes in the, what was it, the Omega something house, and I mean, he murders four girls, and all. I mean, like, this is a sorority house, and nobody hears a thing. To me, that's incredible, but it's been done before. As we know, there are other places that have had similar incidences in the past few years that are still unsolved. Are they related? I don't know. Certainly, I guess they could be. If you have somebody who just goes around like that, you could have a Ted Bundy. And let me just stop right here, because I listened to a profile. Again, I disagree. Of someone that said this is not a Bundy or Rawlings or whatever kind of murder because there is no SA, okay? No assault of the nether regions, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. So, if there is no SA, then, this person was saying it is not the same type of murder because the feelings would not be there. It would be a different type. And I disagree, because a lot of serial killers don't necessarily have to perform that act to get that release. The knife going into the skin is, for them, for some people, the same as committing that other thing. Plus, you're going to leave DNA. So, could you do that just for that reason, being psychopathic and, being a killer? Yeah, I think you could. I don't think you can rule that out. To me, it's always looked like that type of situation. Now, the only other thing that I think could have happened and first of all, if it's somebody who is transient, like, Speck or especially Bundy, they go from one place and then boom, they're gone, and they're gone a couple other states over. And people always say, well, it couldn't have been because this happened in this state and this happened 3 states away. My God, it doesn't take very long to get that far. I mean, a couple of days, a day. In some cases, you can't say that. We're not in the horse and buggy days. We can be anywhere very quickly. So why are you discounting that? That's just dumb. Especially when you have somebody who is this kind of killer, hypothetically, if it is this, you wouldn't want to stay in the area. You would do what you do, get out. In that case, I can see somebody speeding through town. But I would think they would calmly drive, not to draw attention. Because why would you? Unless you're just a dumb criminal, which there are a lot of those too. But anyway, that's my thought. And if it's somebody who is transient, then focusing on Moscow is only going to delay or make you completely miss something else. I would be looking for multiple murders in further away places, personally, just to see if there are any similarities. Now, the only other thing I can think of is if this was a person who resides in Moscow, then it would be someone who is deeply troubled, older, definitely older, who is nondescript, who blends in, who's narcissistic, who does not think that he could ever be a suspect. I mean, could it be somebody from there that... here's the thing. I don't think that any of these students were targeted personally. Like, you don't like me because of this or that. I think it was a more generalized, even if they had interaction at one time or another with one of the victims, I don't think it was, like an ex, that you have beef with and knows everything about you. I think this would have been somebody who had probably sick fantasies and is an older person and for some reason hates a specific type. I think the girls, if it's targeted against the girls were a type. Young, beautiful college kids who, have the whole world, whatever that it is that you hate about this. I could see it being somebody that it flies way under the radar. Maybe somebody who's been there for a while, except I don't think that you start with 4 murders. So I would have to question a lot of other things. Have there been animal mutilations over the past or equally sick things that somebody might be doing as either to satiate themselves in between murders or working up to being able to do that? Do you see what I'm saying? The correlation is just there. So those are my thoughts. I do not think, I don't think this was a college peer at all. At all. I just don't. And I think it was a rampage. I think it was rampage murders against either somebody completely having nothing to do with this or somebody who hated a certain type and may still be there. Although a lot of people now have been moving out, taking school online. I mean, I get it. I wouldn't send my daughter back. But anyway, I would like to know what you think. Let's open this discussion on Idaho because, you asked and we're all out here trying to think. We're trying to keep this case alive and maybe somebody knows something. Maybe something insignificant could be helpful to law enforcement. We certainly want to see justice for these 4 beautiful students. So, Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, Xana, and Bethany and Dylan were also, even though they survived this, look, their trauma is not going to end anytime soon. So let's keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers. The families, I cannot imagine what you are going through this holiday season. I just, my gosh, I can't, I don't even know what to say except, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And if there's any way that any of us can bring attention to something, then I think that is what we're trying to do. Hopefully that's your motive here, as it is mine. Let's think. Let's think. That's what we do. We're thinkers, right? Okay. Tell me what you think. Comment below. Oh, I never say this. Like and subscribe if you want to. I'm going to be here regardless. So I will see you next time. Have a blessed New Year, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.